Welcome back to IQ Weekly. We're joined by Sig and Edgar Hansen, the stars of The Deadliest Catch. It's on the Discovery Channel. Guys, I want to talk about the current season right now. Before we get into the plot of what's going on this season, take me through, what does it take to harvest crab up in that environment? I mean, when I go crabbing, I take this little collapsible thing and put some fish on there, and then I try to catch one. But take me through the process.
It takes no brains and a lot of heart. That's what it takes.
Strong back and no brains.
Yeah. No, but well, the guys, they got to have a work ethic, and you got to teach that to them. You know, if you get a new guy on board, you want to kind of, I'm not going to say it's like a military deal, but you really got to erase their minds of everything they thought it was going to be, and then just, you know, you build them up. And it's, you just got to have a lot of heart, man.
Yeah.
So
I grew up in a fishing family, and my first year there, I was just in a different world. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing here? Yeah. It took me a couple of years before I really got it and understood.
Yeah. Plus, the whole sleep deprivation has got to be unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, how many hours do you go straight at a time?
It just all depends.
Just depends. You know, if you want to animal fish, you can go for a couple of days or whatever.
30,
but if
40, 50 hours.
We try to get on a rotation and a schedule. It's just sometimes things pop up to where, hey, you got to get it done, and that's when it kicks in, and that's where you just forget about everything you thought it was and you just go for it.
Yeah. Talk about the current season. What are we going to see this season on the boat?
Well, I mean, I know that there's a lot of nasty weather that was out there this last winter, and you know, and that's the thing. We don't know how it's going to turn out till we see it on television either, because they've got thousands of hours they have to condense. And the other captains, you know, we talk to them once in a while, but I don't know what's happening on all these other boats. I'm more concentrated on our boat and what we're doing. But I know that, you know, like Edgar, he gets whacked with a pick and hook, and just
besides that, I had no idea he was talking trash about me that much up in the wheelhouse. I was going to call you right after that show aired too.
Yeah, you get to see some things that you otherwise wouldn't. But you got hit. Tell me what a picking hook is.
Picking hook is the hook we once the pot breaks the water, comes up. That's the hook we put in the bridle to get the pot up on board, and that's, you know, it's a good couple feet long, about 15 pounds, and our greenhorn was working the rail, and there's a certain way to get it unhooked easily if you've done it long enough. Well, our greenhorn was trying to be like Edgar. And he tried the trick, but he was using the wrong arm, and he flicks it real bad, and the boat took a big roll, and the hook just, I got nailed in the side of the head because I had my hood on. I couldn't see.
He's lucky it didn't hit him in the temple and really knock him out.
It rattled my teeth. It put me to the deck, and it almost put me out.
Wow.
But we've been lucky. I mean, we've had a couple of camera guys in harm's way, you know. We actually saved their lives a couple times.
I was going to ask you about that. It's got to be hard enough just trying to keep your crew safe, but you've got, how many film crew members are on the boat?
Well, we've got 2 extra camera men, and you know, they're phenomenal. I mean, the first year there was that learning curve, and it was really hard to understand each other, but now it's gotten easier for us, but it's still, you know, 2 extra bodies that you have to babysit all the time. And so, you know, the more they're there, the more they learn, and
and the safer it is for everybody. But then they switch them up too. They swap, you know, they swap out camera guys, and so you get 2 new guys, and they got to get used to being on our boat. Every boat's different, so they got to get used to where to stand, where not to stand, and who not to piss off.
So now there are 6 boats involved, is that right, in the series? And so tell me about the competition. I mean, it's friendly when you guys are at the dock or maybe at the bar, but when you're out there, it's very competitive, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, even nowadays we have an IFQ system where, you know, we kind of know what we're going to get before we fish, and that's changed the industry.
What does that stand for, IFQ?
Individual fishing quota. So we've gone from 220 boats now down to about 70, 80. So jobs are pretty hard to come by. But at the same time, you know, we've got delivery dates to make. We've got, you know, weather fronts to beat. And so it's one of those things where, you know, you still really got to stay on your toes, and you got to, you know, you're always fighting time. And it's not easy when you've got these conditions to face all the time.
Let's talk about superstition. I know that superstition plays a part of what you guys do. Is he a superstitious guy?
Oh yeah.
Tell me about it.
He even is at home. We were in New York doing some interviewing. We're walking down the street. There's a lot of buildings that are getting fixed up. So they got the scaffolding from the sidewalk, edge of the sidewalk built up 15 feet, right? All through New York, this guy starts walking under scaffolding. He goes, oh, wait a minute. He walks back all the way around to go around the scaffolding, literally walking on the street. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, you know?
Has it always been like that?
Yeah, I think I got it from my grandfather or something, because it's just one of those things that you grow up with it, you know? Like suitcases, you know, that's one that we talk about all the time, where, camera guys tried to bring their suitcases on the boat and all their equipment.
The first year he made Norman had cowboy boots on too, and that's a no-no.
Yeah.
He made Norman put his cowboy boots in the suitcase and get it all.
Leave it on the dock. All their equipment, no suitcases.
Camera guys are like, is he serious? I'm like, oh yeah, you better believe it.
We're going to talk about the spin-offs. You guys have started to see some pretty amazing success in terms of video games and your own coffee line. When IQ Weekly returns, we're going to talk about that with Sig and Edgar Hansen. We'll be right back.